You know, as we come to this time of year, there's always someone, and a lot of people go through times of depression and stress, and they go through their dark days because this time of year always bring back memories. Memories of loved ones that are not with them this year and how they used to spend that time with them. I was actually going to preach this, but I'm just going to take excerpts of it. Because I had said, well, I just need something, and this just came to mind because of the things that's going on in the world with people during this time of year committing suicide and people abusing their children, and then the children's running away from home, and children having lack of, but it's all part of the plan for the devil. See, the devil knows that if he can get you to get your eyes back onto the materialistic things, he can have control of your life. But if we can get our eyes back on the light of Christmas, which is Jesus, then he knows that we will be coming out of those dark situations. If you ever go to a neighborhood, I don't care what neighborhood it is. Now, I rode up and down, just on my street, for example. That street, going throughout the year, you wouldn't want to go down. But then around Christmas time, you see certain houses, they have their whole yard lit up with Christmas lights. And it makes it look like a different street. That's what Jesus did when he came into the world.
All right.
He lit up this dark world to make it look different. It looks better when there's light than it is when it's dark. See, because even when it starts getting dark, that's when the people turn their Christmas lights on. And it makes you have a feeling of, man, that's such a beautiful house. Not thinking about the neighborhood you're in. So if we can begin to turn Jesus on in the midst of our darkness, then the situation will not look as bad as it is.
All right. All right.
Jesus came into the world with a light show. Light was important during Jesus' birth. Because without the light show of the angels, the shepherds would have never went to Bethlehem. If it wasn't for the light show of the bright star, the wise men would have never brought their gifts. If it wasn't for the bright star, Jesus may not never been born. See, because it had to be something bright to let the people know something good was coming. Even Herod took notice of it. He knew that there was someone coming that's going to be a king. And I cannot have that, he said. See, the Bible also lets us know that in 1 John that God is light, and in him is no darkness. So, if God is light, and we know that the first command he gave in the Bible was, let there be light. Now, if God is light, and he was there on the spot, why did he say, let there be light when I am the light? He had to let the people know that once he left, it was going to be dark again. So he had to let that light stay where it was at. Sometimes we turn our light switch off of Jesus and walk in darkness. A lot of times we don't want to take Jesus to certain places. We don't want the light to shine so that the world can see it. But Jesus said, I am the light of the world. So no matter where you go, your light is always shining. Your light will always be shining. We look at Christmas time, and the other night, Lady Howard, she went out, bought a tree. I didn't get no real tree this year. Some things just get all over the place. But, I put the tree together. And what I liked about it, the tree already came with lights. But when I put the tree together, the tree just looked like an ordinary tree until I plugged it in and the lights lit up. So me, I sat back down, let her finish doing her thing. And then Wednesday night I said, I'm just going to sit at home. I just want to think and pray a little bit and just get ministered to. So I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm looking at this tree. And I said, okay, let me get up and do something. So I started working on the tree. And then when I turned the lights on and I looked at the tree after it was finished being decorated, I had to go turn the lights off in the house to get the full effect of the tree. Sometimes God has to let us go through some dark spots in our life so people can see the real beauty of your life. So this Christmas, and I love what Sister Brandy said, she would have still been in her funk if it wasn't for what she's doing now with God.
Amen.
So what she did, she didn't leave her light off. She turned her light on. So that way, now she can walk in that light. She don't have to worry about being in the darkness of despair or distress. She don't have to worry about having that dark days all the time. See, we're going to go through some dark times because we're living in this flesh, in this world. So there's going to be some ups and some downs. But Jesus said, I have come as a light to shine in this dark world, so that all who put their trust in me will no longer wander in darkness. You may go through some darkness, but you won't wander in it. You don't have to be worried about being like the children of Israel who wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. That was their darkness. Because they could have made the trip in 3 days, but they didn't. See, Jesus is not talking about no physical darkness neither. He's not talking about if we go turn the light switch off in the church, it's dark in here. He's talking about some personal spiritual darkness that's in our lives. Everybody's going to have some. Like the dark days of disappointments. How many of us ever been disappointed in life? Job said it like this in Job 30. I hope for happiness and light, but trouble and darkness came instead. Sometimes we can hope for the light. Sometimes we can hope for happiness. But then that day, there comes trouble and darkness. So how do we do this? And how do we make it over? Now, let's think about Mary. Mary, 9 months pregnant, going to find a place to give birth. And the only place she found was a stable. Because they didn't have reservations in the inn. She was probably disappointed because of what she knew that her God, her Lord, was getting ready to be born in a stable. But not knowing that that's where he had to be born. Her disappointment didn't last for long, though. See, because at the child's birth, that's when the angels began to dance.
Yes.
That's when the shepherds came to recognize the king. That's when the wise men brought gifts. See, even in the midst of her disappointment, she got blessed.
Yes, she did. That's right.
You know, even in the midst of our disappointment during this time of year and throughout the year, we still should understand that we have a light
Yes.
that can dispel the dark days of disappointment.